The power of three. After the three rules first spilled out, I began to analyze what I'd said to be. While this analysis didn't happen at the horse show, it started on our drive home and continues even today. Recently, when I was being my usual Type A self in yoga class, my instructor used one of my own rules on me. When I stopped laughing, I understood that she had taken the rules I had taught her and was using them to teach me. What a great moment. So how did I begin this analysis? When I first saw in the rules was their simplicity. By this, I mean they're easy to remember and easy to verbalize. Rule number 1 is the what, rule number 2 is the how, and rule number 3, that's the why. However, why just 3 rules? Why not 4 or 5? Why had my brain synthesized all I had read and learned into 3 specific rules? As I pondered this, I began to see the number 3 more and more in people's lives, in our psyches, and in everything around us. For example, Aristotle talked about 3 and the ability of humans to relate to it in his book, Rhetoric, when he wrote about ethos, pathos, and logos. Can you believe he wrote that in the 3rd century BC? There are 3 primary colors. Americans have 3 branches of government: legislative, judicial, and executive. Sigmund Freud said we are id, ego, and superego. John Allen Lee, Ph.D., opines that there are 3 primary styles of love: eros, ludos, and storge. Psychologist Robert Sternberg has written about the triangle of love as involving intimacy, passion, and commitment. Julius Caesar famously said, "Veni, vidi, vici." I came, I saw, I conquered. We're surrounded by safety warnings like stop, look, and listen, or stop, drop, and roll. Literary works like The 3 Little Pigs, The 3 Bears, with a little Goldilocks thrown in, and The 3 Musketeers are all full of 3s. The Christian faith celebrates the Trinity of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Finally, Benjamin Franklin divided humanity into 3 classes. He said there are those that are immovable, those who are movable, and those who move. Everywhere we look, we see things divided into 3s. In fact, about a year or more before I uttered the 3 rules for the first time, I had written a business plan for my family. That's right, a business plan for my family. I had separated it into 3 parts. In this plan, I saw the end first. I focused on where I wanted to take our family and where I wanted us to be financially. I'll get to the why I constructed this plan a little bit later in the book. But my plan had what I called the 3-legged stool of finances. One leg represented our primary law firm business, the second represented our real estate holdings, and the third represented our securities. I planned to develop each of these 3 areas to give our family financial security. If one leg was wobbly, the other 2 could hold up our finances overall until we could fix that leg. This method has worked well for us. At the time this book was written, the real estate market was experiencing a major downturn. Our law firm, while feeling the recession's effects, remained strong, and our securities had ridden the waves of this last recession fairly well. Perhaps that's because our law firm is also based on a 3-part foundation. We offer 3 primary services. In addition, this rule of 3s extends into our financial plan. Our real estate company has 3 investment areas: residential, office, and retail buildings, and our financial investments are in cash, stocks, and bonds. When I developed this family business plan, I was operating in what I see as the triangle of power, the power of 3, and I didn't even realize it or understand it. I do now, though. Why fight what our brains are meant to do and how they are meant to do it? Something in people intuitively understands, relates to, and operates best in an environment of 3s. Let's use that reliance on 3s to our benefit. Let's develop ourselves with that understanding and power. This concept does not limit us. Rather, it empowers us. We can use the concept of 3 in multiple permutations. We're always able to come back to the strength of 3, just as light always comes back to the 3 primary colors. If these rules are so simple, then why does success so often elude us? It eludes us because of the execution of these rules. Following them in our day-to-day living is difficult. Believe me, I know. For example, I've been thinking about writing this book for years, but I've struggled mightily to find the consistent competency I needed to write it. For instance, try walking past that roasted corn vendor at the state fair, not pausing to investigate as he dips a golden ear into melted butter. Maybe a treadmill really makes the perfect clothing rack. When I think of all the things I've tried to accomplish, maintaining a healthy, reasonable weight has been the hardest. Similarly, saving money can be difficult, but should be simple. You want to accumulate wealth? Don't spend all you make. No sweat. It's simple. Income is what you make. Wealth is what you keep. But wait a minute, though. You expect my family to watch the Super Bowl on a 43-inch widescreen when they just came out with a 60-incher? My daughter can't ride a broken-down pony now, can she? All the while, I sip my $4 latte and listen to my digitally downloaded song on my latest, greatest smartphone. In the meantime, my investment and my retirement accounts sigh with loneliness. Go to the grocery store and buy fresh ingredients for cooking a healthy meal at home? Nah. Why don't we just grab some fast food? Eating fast food is a great idea if your goals are to gain weight and lose wealth. We all could think of many other things that are simultaneously simple and difficult. Just because something is simple does not mean it's easy. Sometimes the simpler something is, the more difficult it is to master. Each of the three apparently simple rules has two kinds of difficulty within it. The difficulty of each rule's various moving parts, and the difficulty of living by that rule each day. I guarantee you will find one of the rules more difficult to follow than the other. What's more, you will find your ability to match the rule's difficulty with simple adherence ebbs and flows. For instance, you may be spot on following Rule 1, working hard toward your eventual payoffs, but you may have to strive mightily to follow Rule 2 and be consistently competent. For me, Rule 3 is the most difficult to follow. It's hardest to find the attitude and the will to win. I have a mercurial personality. Some days I'm up, some days not so much. Some days I'm ready to tackle the world, and some days I'm rebounding from the world tackling me. Which rule will be your hardest to master? Which will be your best? Think about this as you explore the rules in this book.